Troops burned tires, poisonous chemicals, and human waste.
We owe you. You're the backbone. You're the steel. You're the sinew. You're the very fiber that makes this country what it is. This law is long overdue, but we finally got it done together.
The issue's personal for the president. His son, Bo, died of brain cancer years after serving in Iraq.
There is breaking news. You actually could qualify for a one-time direct deposit. So many Americans are ready to receive this much-needed stimulus check. Several states have already approved a new plan that will affect the cost of the pump. And now the residents of Colorado can expect to start the new year off strong, thanks to a payment they'll receive at the end of the year. This cashback program will give taxpayers who filed their taxes by October a payment of $750. This is a huge stimulus check that will help out so many people, because the payment will be for state residents who filed an extension. The first round of payments was for people who had filed their 2021 taxes by June 30th, which were paid to residents by September 30th. To be eligible for this payment, residents of the Centennial State must be 18 or older and be residents of Colorado for the entire 2021 income tax year, and have filed a state income tax return for 2021 or applied for a property tax or a rent rebate. And anybody who was a resident of Colorado for the entirety of 2021 and has since moved away can still receive this check as long as they filed their taxes before June 30th. And now, due to better than expected revenue projections and escalating inflation, the state of Illinois passed the annual increase in gas taxes and its tax on grocery items for a period of time. But both levies will make their return in 2023. In fact, the inflation-based gas tax increase could occur twice within a 6-month span, while the grocery tax will return this summer. As part of the state's 2023 fiscal year budget, a mandatory increase in the gas tax that was tied to inflation was delayed by 6 months. That number turned out to be 8.2%. And as a result, Illinois motorists will see a fuel tax increase of roughly 3 cents a gallon, bringing the total tax fuel on unleaded gas to 42 cents per gallon. The annual inflation-based increase in the state's gas tax goes into effect on July 1st each year because of the Rebuild Illinois Infrastructure Bill, which passed the General Assembly in 2019. Prior to that, the state's gas tax had been locked at 19 cents a gallon for nearly 20 years. But that bill increased the tax to 38 cents a gallon in an effort to fund infrastructure projects around the state. Annual increases were also put into place with the bill, with a tax tied to the CPI's annual increase. Under terms of the state's 2023 fiscal year budget, the tax increase for fiscal year 2024 will still go into effect, meaning that motorists could see 2 fuel tax increases in the same year. That budget also suspended the state's tax on grocery items for 1 period of years, and that will make a 1% tax on returns for anything from July 1st, 2023 until next year, 2024. Another form of help is being sent to Americans in northern states like Rhode Island, but the families who want to apply for these $750 checks must have filed the necessary form to do so. Because according to state officials, if you file the paperwork and meet the requirements, you will get this check. In one of the most recent budget plans that passed, a rebate for Rhode Island families was included. The payment will be $250 for a qualifying child and a maximum of 3 children that will get up to $750 per household. The governor believes supporting children and their parents is an essential way to keep the economy growing. I agree, folks. I agree that stimulus payments should be sent out, and stimulus checks are important for the people that need it. So, Joe Biden should do something right now.
Hold back so many of our children from that promise of equal opportunity. Disparities in education, disparities in economic opportunity, disparities in housing and healthcare and more. Disparities that have existed and persisted for generations.
The governor has even suggested a new measure as part of the program. It would offer a one-time payment of $2,000 to people that qualify for the stimulus checks. I just hope that President Biden sends out more stimulus payments within the next couple of days. It's important for him to do this. We have 10 news about the 4th stimulus check, Social Security benefits, Ssdi and Ssdi. Continue watching because you definitely don't want to miss out on this video. It's very important news and you guys have to keep watching. On January 1st, an array of the bills and 4 stimulus checks have actually been approved. So, big pieces of this landmark Inflation Reduction Act from Joe Biden is signed into law, and half months ago they are set to go into effect in a couple of days. During a speech, Joe Biden said we are just getting started. The effects will be felt from healthcare to clean energy. So here are some important key provisions for the law and that you need to know about. Too much touted proportions of the bill concerning healthcare started on January 1st. The soon-to-be-implemented changes induce and include a new inflation cap that limits how much prescription manufacturers can change the price of prescriptions, and new rules that ensure that people enrolled in Medicare prescription plans don't even pay more than $35 a month for insulin. Breaking the stimulus news, everybody. So we finally have some good news. Manchin says he will want to support major pieces of President Biden's agenda. Sources close to Manchin say the Democrats are going to make a big mistake by waiting for him to lay out precisely what he'd support. Manchin has expressed interest in passing a bill through the filibuster-proof reconciliation process that would raise taxes, reduce the deficit, cut prescription costs, and fund energy and climate measures. Manchin also began leading bipartisan talks on energy over the last 2 weeks. But sources close to Manchin believe Democrats are making an error by waiting for Manchin to create his own detailed legislation. In a statement, Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi said the best approach would be for the White House to come up with a plan, get his approval, and then hand it off. He's not going to write a bipartisan bill, and that's not who he is. White House officials insist they've been sounding out Manchin about what he's willing to support. Schumer met recently with Joe Manchin behind closed doors in what was billed as a conversation about combating inflation. Schumer said the meeting was good and that they were going to continue talking. Schumer added that the only way to get rid of inflation is through reconciliation because the Republican is willing to raise taxes. Joe Manchin has said he'd support a package of higher taxes on upper earners and corporations, and as long as new spending programs are funded permanently and half the savings are put to deficit reduction. So while Manchin has kept the door open to extending healthcare benefits, Joe Manchin reiterated his support today for a filibuster-proof bill, saying his top priorities to combat inflation. He told reporters, "My main thing is inflation and fighting inflation with tax reforms. We ought to get rid of this debt and start in a responsible way, handling our finances." Manchin has acknowledged an obviously hurdle to a bipartisan deal. Any such package would have to be paid for, and Republicans are opposed to raising taxes to finance it. Lawmakers across the country are proposing a few different measures intended to provide relief at the pump as record-high gas prices hit drivers' pocketbooks. So while the Biden administration considered the idea of sending gas cards through the IRS, House Democrats have pitched ideas mirroring some popular crisis relief programs like stimulus checks and advanced child tax credits. Now, just a few weeks ago, the average price of a gallon of gas was over $3, $5 in 3 states like California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Several other states like Washington and Oregon are inching closer to the painful price point. With that in mind, lawmakers are looking for ways to help Americans feeling the pinch. Here's what that means. Recently, Colorado Governor Jared Polis has signed a state budget. An act says that he will boost reserves to the highest recorded levels in state history, while also delivering an $800 million stimulus package to help people in Colorado recover from the crisis. Lawmakers are marketing the stimulus package as the Colorado comeback. Polis originally asked lawmakers for $1.3 billion in stimulus spending, vowing that the amount could create